What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another stream. My name is Nighthawk, and welcome back to another episode of Save Point with Zuli and Hawk Unplugged. Zuli, how are you today?
We are doing amazing. I feel like I'm excited for today's episode. I'm definitely with all of y'all and excited for this episode of Unplugged and Save Point with El Jefe and Nighthawk.
Yes.
To bring the conversation to life about music and about Bunny. So, yeah, doing great. How about you, Jefe? How you doing?
Yes.
Hola, hola, how we doing? What's up with it? My name is El Phoenix. You can call me El Jefe, Phoenix, whatever your heart desires. Honored to be here with y'all today. Very excited to talk heritage, history, música, cultura, culture, everything, all the things. So, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Love it.
Yes, thank you for coming on and doing this. You could feel the energy when we were preparing for this, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be a good one. You were already saying so much that low-key we could have recorded, but we need to set up and everything. But we're here now to discuss Bad Bunny, music history, and yeah. First off, Hefe, I want you to give a intro to what you do in content creation, maybe how you started streaming on Twitch, and what you do stream on Twitch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, I'm not wearing it just by chance. I try to wear it for anything that I do regarding my quote unquote position or title. I am the co-community specialist for the Twitch Latin Guild. I'm part of it with Sunebula. Very, very honored. Love being there. Love being a part of this whole journey. As a streamer myself, I started streaming back in 2020. I was a pandemic streamer, right? And the opportunity presented itself where if I was going to shoot my shot, I was going to shoot it then, or I was not going to shoot it at all. And so you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I've been streaming ever since. Obviously, to be quite honest with you, now my content creation journey has drastically changed. My whole journey just looks a whole lot different. I was alluding to it when we were setting up. I don't spend as much time on screen like this, being energetic, hype, just bringing it all. Now it's more of a lot behind the scenes, kind of like, if you think about it in sports terms, I went from being a player on the bench to being quarterback one to now I'm the head coach. And you know what I mean? That's nice, kind of the analogy I give you there. And then, so that's about it. But I'm a bilingual streamer. I can do English y Espanol.
Bilingual.
You already know, Latino gang, right? Gotta represent, have to keep that alive and well. Another big saying that I always say is my ultimate goal is to show that Si Se Puede is still alive and well.
Love it. I love it. I love that introduction, Jefe. And definitely, one of the ways that we met is through the Twitch Unity Guilds. So, exactly, definitely follow him. Definitely for that.
Yep.
That's the connect to get to know a little more about the Latin Guild he's representing.
For sure. Yeah, and I love that we get to discuss more about the guilds. Or I like getting connected. I like networking. And how this even happened was from networking through Zuli's stream. Zuli was like, yo, we should have him on when we redo our Bad Bunny pod. Part of the reason why we're doing this again is because we ran into a little technical difficulty after our Bad Bunny podcast, where we, unfortunately, there's this VOD glitch with Twitch, only specifically on that day, where the last few minutes of a stream would be looping over and over again. So I couldn't get the footage from that stream, unfortunately. And everyone enjoyed it on the live, but unfortunately they just couldn't. It was just an issue from that standpoint of gathering content afterwards. So that was unfortunate, but I mean, we just pressed on, and one of our good friends, Miss Game Queen, aka GQ, she was like, "Yo, y'all should just do it again because y'all were telling me how good that episode was and how much y'all have to share from that, and you might as well just do it again." And here we are. And now we have someone who's equally as enthusiastic about this as us. So even better. So now I'm recording. Now we're back. So yeah, appreciate everyone in the chat who's lurking. Feel free to chime in at any point. Zuli, where should we start first?
I mean, I know that a lot of people might start to get to know Bad Bunny recently, obviously, since the Super Bowl. I think we should get to start, like, just in case, maybe we can explain, like, who's Bad Bunny a little, and
yeah,
I guess, like, how did he got until this point in music from, like, what we did, right? Like, his genres until, like, at the moment that he is at the moment. So yeah, we can get started with that if you want. I feel like I can start in terms of my experience. So Bad Bunny, for some of you, it's basically an artist that he was. I think his biggest boon happened after, I would say, early it was 2018. I would say 2019, but I feel like the 2020s for now. It's been 6 years. Like, it's the biggest boom that he got to be, like, recognized by people around the world. Um, for some of you that don't know, he's from Puerto Rico, but yeah, you might know because he's pretty proud about his origins, and then that's
right.
why we are repping his merch. Okay, this is official Bad Bunny merch from his concert in Puerto Rico. Um, which I love it, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I love being like a whole complete red color walking around the street. But hey, it's okay, it's me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
In terms of who he is, basically, yeah, from Puerto Rico, amazing artist. And then now let's speak a little about from how he started, like his genres. Maybe Jefe, this could be a tricky question. Do you know what genre he started with music?
I've always known him to be a Latin trap artist.
There you
Um,
go.
I knew that, like, a lot of people will highlight the fact that he, like, this most recent album is great and everything like that, but I think that the more passionate, or not even more passionate, but just the ones that have followed him longer will remember the days where he was singing with Farruko, Anuel, Nicky Jam, all coming up through the Latin trap scene. They win a time where Latin trap wasn't even a thing, and then now it's one of the most major genres out there. Um, it's very, very. Um, he's a pioneer in more than one sense, if you will.
Exactly. I think you basically summarized it. Like, he started as a trap, Latin trap genre. And I told this story here, but I might tell us again because we don't have it recorded. um, so basically, when he started to sing, in Puerto Rico, usually when there's new artists coming, they get invited to either free parties around universities, college, and whatever party they can get in, just so people can get to know them. He started to do trap, but then one of the things that actually helped him a lot is that he started from day one, yes, doing trap, but he did one song with one of the most famous reggaetoneros in the island. His name is Arcangel, and because of he getting started on trap and he did one song with that one famous reggaetonero, it opened up the door for people to start listening to his music. And literally, that one song is one of the most crazy nice songs that we all know from his beginnings because it was with Arcangel. And then I was telling the story that when I was in college, I got invited to a Halloween party in Rio Piedras, which is like a central downtown in close San Juan. And I went there and I saw him right there in front of me on stage singing the trap songs. And guess what? Zoo Nebula from college said, I'm like, I don't like trap. I'm okay.
Yep.
So, because when he started, I actually, honestly, I leave trap to a Jefe. Jefe is a trap. He loves trap, but I am not 100%. I listen to trap like that. But back then, when I saw him, do his show, I was like, okay, like, hey, he's getting started. I like what I'm listening. But guess what? I got so hooked into that one song he did with Arcangel that I know it from memory now. Like, it's actually, with time, it took time to get to me, but his music actually got to me. So that's how I
Yeah.
got to know him. And that's how people started to get to know him, is because of that. Yeah, it opens opens the doors for get to know him with this famous person in the island, and from there is history. He started doing trap songs, he started doing some reggaeton, but it's not until 3 albums ago that he starts to say, okay, let me do something different. Do you remember that album that he did, that he was starting to do like Miami vibes? I don't know if you guys remember that album.
Mm-hmm.
um I feel like that's when he started to say, I want to do something different. But then I think, Jefe, you were talking about when we were on in the background, about out of nowhere he developed, to get to put his voice out there in a different way. Maybe tell us your point of view of how do you feel that changed, right? Like, he started as a trap artist. From there, what is your perspective on Bad Bunny?
Okay. Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, like if you hear the terminology of Latin trap, what is it? What does it entail?
Mm.
What can I relate it to? It's essentially the Latin version of hip hop, right? Or the Latin version of rap, or it's very um I don't even want to say like crime oriented, because I don't want to give it that negative context,
Mm-hmm.
but it is very much rough upbringing, struggles, challenges, etc. There's also things like el maleanteo, las tiraderas, where those were like the rap feuds, right? They would feud with
Mm-hmm.
each other, and
Mm-hmm.
but in all reality, at the end of the day, they both got publicity from it, and they both got exposure from it, right? Because then people were picking sides. Oh, well, like, is it like like, am I picking Ja Rule, or am I picking Fat Joe? Who am I picking, right?
It's
And it kind of
exactly that. It sounds so familiar given what happened with Kendrick and Drake, but continue.
there you go, right? Who are you picking?
Yeah.
But either way, you wanted to hear both sides of it, right? And you wanted to hear the rebuttals. You wanted to do everything like that. Um, but diving in a little deeper, the biggest thing that I admire about Bad Bunny is just the self-reflection and the journey that he's been on, and the growth from being that Latin trap artist of like talking about money, cars, and all of that, to he's has everything, and he literally says, he's like, in one of his lines, vendí el Bugatti porque lo sentí eh, muy lento. Like, it translates to, I sold the Bugatti because I thought it was slow. And it's like, what?
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but there's such a deeper sense to that of like, there is no material thing, right? There is no material thing that can bring you the eternal happiness, or the joy, or like, there's so many things that maybe you wouldn't traditionally pick up on, and you would say, oh, like, cool, I like his vibe, or I like the beat, or I like this. But if you really pick up on the things that he's saying in those lyrics throughout the course of time, you will notice the self-reflection, the growth, the um one of my favorite tracks, to be quite honest with you, in that whole process, in the journey, in the albums, is Nadie Sabe, um, by Bad Bunny. And the reason being is, he literally says, no one truly knows everything that you're going through behind the scenes. They just think they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much like a chapter where I find myself in currently. And that's why I keep that song on repeat, because I'm like, people might think they know, but at the end of the day, right, not no one gets the full picture. No one gets
Yeah.
um no one gets the full scope of your life. What are you going through from when you wake up to when you go to bed, right? But just his journey in general, is very inspiring to me. And then seeing the halftime show, seeing the impact that it had on community such as ours, right, in the guild, um, seeing 20, like over 20 something people all in a video call, all having fun, right, like having a great time, but then no, like just thinking on a deeper level, right, like when you sit there and wonder if it impacted that one person, who else did it impact? Like, does it? What's the trickle down effect, right? Um, did it impact someone's mom? Did it impact an uncle, a sister, a brother, a cousin? Who all took effect from
Mm-hmm.
seeing the Latino at the halftime show? And to me, it was just I related it back to that is Si Se Puede is still alive and well. Like, yes, you can do whatever you set your mind
Mm-hmm.
to, you know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
very much possible.
I
Yeah.
mean, since we're talking already about the show, Nighthawk, what was your thought
So
first experience with you saw him come in the show?
when I saw him at the Super Bowl, uh, it's so as a person that's like outside the community a little bit, or not just a little bit, like I'm outside the community, but I love seeing as a person like like we got the so black people got the Kendrick Super Bowl of 2024, no 2025 technically, and that was such a way of putting culture on the biggest performance stage in the entire world. Bad Bunny was literally like that, but for the entirety of America, like all of America, as he pointed out. I've never heard, even just starting from that ending, I've never heard all the American countries from bottom to top, all the way up to Canada, being said so beautifully. And it's like, he's like, no, the US isn't just America. There's South and North America together are all America. And it's such a powerful statement. Among the many powerful statements he mentioned, one of the things that you mentioned, Hefe, was about how, hey, I'm up here on this biggest stage, like you can do this too if you put your mind to it. People were talking about stories where Bad Bunny used to be a grocery bagger and goes from that to the highest stage. Like that's inspiring to people who have dreams. Like we the three of us here have dreams. The people, some of the people in the chat are like streamers that I know that they have dreams too. Everyone has something that they strive to do. So seeing that on the highest level with so much detail, references that I didn't pick up in the moment. There's definitely a lot of like, ooh, pretty colors. Like, oh, I recognize this song because I listened to it like 2 weeks ago because I'm catching up on the discography because I want to know about what is his story. I love a good come up story through music, whether it's through documentaries or just me going through the albums and seeing the subtle storytelling through the albums. I've learned Spanish here and there, but of course I'm not a fluent speaker, so that's a little bit of a language barrier, but you can still feel it through the music, through the sounds. And even when you dissect the lyrics like more and more, like I'm finding out about new Bad Bunny lyrics every day because there's still that part of me that needs to like go back and break it all down. But it gets more impactful the more you dig into it. What was one of the, and I've never seen a stage like that. Might have been the most detailed Super Bowl stage, packed with so much meaning. I mean, there's so many examples we can go through. One of the main parts that I didn't catch at first was the power going out and him performing from the light post. And later on, I saw that that was because that Puerto Rico's infrastructure is mishandled and it's not like that's a frequent thing. Like the blackouts are frequent. So that's a whole, and it's a thing that only they would get because that was in their culture, it's in their whole thing. Something else was I'm trying to like flash through all the performances, but this is how detailed it is. I'm trying to like remember all the details and stuff. Are there any you could point out, Hefe?
The little old lady that handed him the coffee. a lot of people will glance over that and be like, "Oh, it's nothing," right? She's actually a person that has been like made. They've made articles about her because she's still um, she lives in a very gentrified area,
Mm-hmm.
and they are trying to buy her house, and
Yeah.
so she'll move out, and she has not budged. She has not sold it. She is still doing her thing. She is still making coffee. She is still running her own little shop. Right? Those are like the little details, like the little kid with the kid in the Grammy. Right?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone,
That was the part.
everyone was playing on, oh, that was the kid that got deported. Da, da, da. It wasn't, but
No.
it still had
Everything
a
is
very.
everything's interpretation when you're talking about
Mhm,
art. So people feel they should learn that when we're talking about art, music, theater, actually like visual arts, everything has a reason and it's
mhm,
interpreted depending of how much exposure you've had to situations or not, because the reaction of someone that maybe has gone through challenges and things is gonna be different from somebody that's never seen. They're gonna be like, oh, what's that, doesn't make sense. And I'm like, no, this is why it happened and this is why this art is showing this. So I think I want to say that Bad Bunny's performance on the Super Bowl, I think, has been one of the most amazing because not it's just the detail, the amount of people he included, the amount of how do I put all this amazing album in just 20 minutes? It's insanely good done. And everybody, literally, I've seen so many people there, and then I felt literally I was crying because I don't know if you guys follow me on my Instagram, but basically I was crying because it's literally showing my whole freaking life growing up in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, look at that. That's my neighborhood. That's my thing. That's a party in Puerto Rico that the kids are sleeping while the whole party's going because
That
Latinos
was the
like to
other
put
one.
music while the kids are sleeping. That's a wedding in Puerto Rico that everybody's just partying. Even the grandpa and grandma are dancing. Like I'm telling you, like every little detail they did, it was so amazing. I'm actually impressed. Like whoever worked with him in this collaboration, the part of the representation, they did so amazing job. Um, and I think I wanted to actually just comment in the fact that, guys, this album that he made, it's such an amazing, complete like album that I don't know if ever is gonna be repeated in history. Just because every song has a meaning, every song has an audience, every song has something, and that's something important to mention on this episode is because he's not just doing music for the marketing of the music out there. He did a full album, and I mentioned this before. He did a full album after a year and a half of studying Puerto Rico history. He went to college in Puerto Rico in Rio Piedras. He actually collaborated with professors to understand what happened in history with the US, and history with Spain, and history with how the island got to this point that we are. And he actually was studying with books before he decided, how do I put this in an album? So songs like I want to mention, like the Hawaii one, like
Mm-hmm.
no quiero que pase lo que le pasó a Hawaii. I don't want it to happen what happened to Hawaii.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know what's the meaning of that song, then study history about the US because it's basically the representation of how an island got to be, part of the US, and then they changed the whole structure. So he's basically explaining that he would not like Puerto Rico to be like Hawaii, that they lose the identity, our identity of being, fully Puerto Ricans. And then also his music videos represent that, right? Like he's trying to show like it's okay to have diverse people in the island, but he doesn't like that they lose their identity, they lose their traditions, they lose like a quesito in the coffee place. That
Mm.
usually that's what you will find when you go to a bakery in Puerto Rico, un café con quesito. Um, so yeah, like I feel like every detail it was calculated, guys. So I feel like with that, this is my favorite album for ever history. I think it should be studied. I think there's actually people studying about Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
and
and yeah,
and that's a good shout, right? Let's talk about a little small detail that might not get picked up, the flag that he carried for Puerto Rico, it wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
darker blue, it was the lighter blue, right? And that's a
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
historical aspect of it. And then second of all is speaking on that topic, that is now a niche of content, if you will. People now dissect and research and meet the meaning of lyrics and songs and things, and what do they mean, and why did they do it this way. And I think, again, art is interpreted by each person, but then at the end of the day, you hit on a very good point. Every artist has their own unique set of challenges that they overcame, obstacles that they had to cross over, and unique perspectives that they bring to the table. And so the fact that he goes and takes a year off and studies and studies and studies, like, no, please tell me why that the color of the flag is different. Please tell me why um please tell me why the little kid is sleeping. Please tell me why the boxers are boxing, because the boxing
Mm-hmm.
was a big thing for them too. That's another big way that they got
It's
on
part
the
of a
island, right?
tradition, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
even wasn't there's a voice sample of like Puerto Rico, we are the best on the first track of that of the recent album, and it's from a boxer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Basically declaring that like, yo, we are here, we are the best in the world. Like what's the word? Not morality, kind of morale for the country, like really backing behind the country. So even that's a reference to
Yeah.
that.
And I feel he represented really well, like everything that like basically describes a Puerto Rican. Like we were known in boxing, music, dancing. He even in that micro, like I would say microseconds a minute that he put all reggaeton songs. Those were our 2090 songs that got blown up as reggaeton, and he put them there for a minute. That's when the girls are like dancing like this.
Yes. Yeah.
Those songs, when I tell you they're legendary songs that even me as a little kid will dance to, it's crazy. So he did that, which is sampling from other music. That's how we get to see how he also, they explain this as well. Bad Bunny has been one of the unique artists from Puerto Rico that I've seen to utilize sampling songs from another era so well that I've never seen nobody do it before. I'm telling you, he brought back to life a reggaetonero that was done with music, and he brought him back on a song back in 2020. Hector el Father. Hector el Father is a reggaetonero. He retired to go to religion. This guy's a pastor now.
Mm.
And he sampled his song into Bad Bunny's album, and he launched it. And that was a wake up call in Puerto Rico. I remember I was driving when I heard that song. My heart stopped because I'm like, is this guy trying to bring the 90s back? This is insane. So I feel he did the same thing on his new album when he samples little snippets of music from our biggest hits in Puerto Rico. And another thing I wanted to mention is details. Again, 20 minutes of Super Bowl, I'm telling you, it's a lot to uncover, guys, because I don't know if you guys remember the video when there's like a girl doing nails.
Hmm.
That microseconds as well of doing nails, it's because in Puerto Rico most women actually back in the 2000s they were all wanting to study nails because that was a big boom of what they wanted to do, like cosmetology, nails, and hair, everything related to the culture that we come from. And he represented it there again in just seconds, and I was like, oh, he has girls doing nails. And then he represented like a woman with a block of cement, and I was like, oh, wait. A girl was analyzing this. She was like, wait, are you saying that he's saying that women are who built is the base of Puerto Rican culture? And that's basically he represented like a woman with the construction side,
Hmm.
because it was like representing as an art. You can interpret it that he's saying, yeah, like women basically build us, like build our culture, because they did nails, they were doing coffee, they were doing party or cleaning or doing different things. So like it was actually amazing. Like I feel like we all should see the Super Bowl again for the millionth time
Oh yes.
to
Yeah.
capture those literally 30 seconds here history, 30 seconds here history, like the electricity that you mentioned, Nighthawk. that's something normal that happens in the island. Like we Puerto Ricans from the island are used to being blackouts. Like right now, the lights goes off. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to get because that's something that is normal on the island. Sadly, because the structure is super bad. Electricity is super bad, and it has also like politicians and stuff like that in history that has been done about electricity in Puerto Rico. So like he represented that and I was like, "Oh my god, that's so funny." And I was concerned when he was holding the pole and the flag that something was going to happen because guys, that's a historical moment in Puerto Rico as well. Like in Puerto Rico, if you guys didn't know, you used to be killed for putting the flag out. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually part of history, and you have to study 1900s when the first Puerto Ricans that were trying to defend their own island. That's why he did it. That's part of history that if you would put your flag like he did, you would get killed or like try to rush by the police in Puerto Rico. Or back then, it was like a whole other type of people that they didn't want Puerto Ricans to put their flag out. So that's why most of his album and other songs and his music video, he's running with the flag because that's exactly what happened to this guy in Ato Rey, Puerto Rico. This guy ran to the streets with a flag, and at the end, he did got killed because
Mm.
of that event. So he literally just said, "This happened. Let me put it on my music video." People think he's doing it out of fun. No, he's actually just interpreting exactly what happened in history in this case in Puerto Rico. So like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Bad Bunny did such a good job and he's such an artist because I never seen that. I never seen somebody try to bring history into music so people can see it in a Super Bowl.
and
Like,
and so other people can learn about it too, because like this is
yeah.
stuff that is not covered in normal curriculums or textbooks, or it's even attempted to be hidden too. Like the whole history of Hawaii, it didn't come to me because like one, I wasn't like around during that time of when it got annexed, but also it's not talked about enough. Because when you think about it, it's like, well, it is an island that's all the way off the cut. It's not next to any of the states really. But that whole history of it makes sense, and his concern in that song also makes sense. And when I was watching the short film, which talked about the casitos, and there were, what was it? The woman was saying like, "Oh, we have casitos con queso," and the guy was like, "Wait, why would you have a cheese? Is the whole thing of the dessert? Why would you have it without cheese? It's like his whole thing." And it was an allegory. I didn't catch it at the time, but when I was reading through the comments, I was seeing like this is an allegory for saying that Puerto Rico is going to become like without Puerto Ricans, without the people that made the country, it's going to become more gentrified and more what's the word, like kind of become more like the United States in a way, losing its identity, losing its culture, like we've been saying so far. So that whole allegory was amazing. Even like seeing how the old man was like reminiscing over old times and photos. This stuff is not a foreign thing to understand. It's a universal concept of like becoming more digitally dependent,
Mm-hmm.
dependent on technology for all our photos and memories. There was a thing the other day, I saw a post where someone was like, "I refuse to have my stuff only on like a digital, only on just my phone or a hard drive." So there's this
Mm-hmm.
website where you can get your photos, uh basically make a book out of like a hardcover book of your photos, or like a hardcover photo book from your digital library of photos, which I might do someday because I'm like, well, I'm not always going to have this device, and these books of like photos, memories, like the old man was looking at, that stuff is forever, and that stuff can be passed down physically to like your further to future generations, because how are future generations going to know your history? So that's all, it all ties together within the album's title, like I wish I took more photos, I wish I had something to cherish these memories. And
Yep.
anyone can understand that, whether you're Puerto Rican or you're of another culture. Everyone, like, that really resonated with me, being in this age, being in this digital information age now. So that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
If I may throw in there, I think it's very important to remember that we can't like the reason that like the little tidbits of the old samples like bring nostalgia and bring joy and bring excitement is because they throw us back into those periods of our life and the periods of time that we experience those in, and it like brings back endorphins, it brings back good memories or just memories in general, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And then you can kind of compare where you are now to where you were in that moment, and you know what I mean. So there's that level of connection with it as well. I would say that um in regards to the Super Bowl halftime show itself, a lot of people can criticize it, a lot of people can just say they were there for the music, but l- they always you always have that saying, right? There's levels to this thing, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
levels to it. What level were you at? Were you there for the music? Were you there to criticize it? Were you there like really looking at everything that was going on? Like, were you curious at all? Would like did you think that were you wondering why there was a little kid sleeping? Maybe like does that entice conversation, thoughts, um, wondering, right? It can be used as a stepping stone for deeper conversation, right? Um, obviously like with like things like this we're able to delve deeper into those conversations and help people that might not know why the little kid got the Grammy. They might not know what the dominoes were about. They might not know why Carol G and you know everyone was up on the house and things like that. They
Yep.
might not understand the importance of Ricky freaking Martin singing Hawaii.
Oof, yeah.
Like you brought back one of like the
Oh, one
OGs.
of the legends from Puerto Rico that he's known worldwide, and he used to sing back in the 2000s all over the world here in the U.S. Bring him
I don't
back just for that one song.
I don't know about you, but every Latina mom was like, "That's my man." Before my "That's my man's" is a thing, okay? Like that's
Hmm.
the level. Like he is OG husband to a lot of moms out there. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Ricky Martin
Like,
is crazy, but
and,
can we talk about the moment?
uh-huh.
Oh, we're gonna continue talking, obviously, but I'm telling you how this 20 minutes develops to like we can talk for him for 12 hours. This is how much this performance was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when he brings Lady Gaga, I don't know if you guys were
Yes.
following my Instagram. I started crying because before they bring her in, he says exactly, "Is this what you wanted?" in Spanish,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that was oh hot. Is this what you wanted? And they bring a Lady Gaga English speaker to sing a beautiful song in a salsa, which
Mm-hmm.
I found it was beautiful. And having that, oh my god, Lady Gaga should do a freaking album. Like, wait, everybody now should do salsa. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful, but I love how they utilize those 20 minutes to be so amazing. Even bringing Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, and then everything that represented on each like detail, it was amazing. I feel like what was the I will ask you guys first, Nighthawk and then El Jefe. What was something from the whole performance that when you saw you were like, whoa? Like what was that thing that made you whoa?
I liked the part where they were doing Monaco and it was like a Spike Lee shot of him just like kind of just going for it. Like that part you mentioned like right before they cut to Lady Gaga because he's like it feels like it's so much like aura and respect like he like no I'm him kind of moment like I'm doing this right now like I deserve to be on the stage uh and I'm a fan of Spike Lee and I love the way he does his shots. I feel like that was a reference to the Spike Lee like Dolly shot. um but that song because I love that song. I love Monaco. One of the songs that got me like closer to like getting into his full discography. um but yeah, it's between that. I thought about y'all were mentioning like them bringing back old songs. Gasolina has been growing on me throughout the past few years. I think I've always heard it, But like I
Legendary song as well.
love that song, Daddy
That's a
Yankee.
must. That's a must for everybody like in the dance parties.
Yeah, and then mixing that with is it, how do you pronounce it? Is E with two O's? How do you pronounce this? Is
Ew.
Ayo.
Ew.
Yeah, that one.
Ew.
So like
Ew.
they mix together so well, like, and he's bringing back that
I'm
old
telling
style,
you.
which is
I
what Daddy Yankee did.
think
Yeah.
he did a great job of sampling songs that we were like, oh my god, how he did this. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're used to hear music made new. Like, oh, I made a new album. Look at what I listen. Oh, I made a new. Then Bad Bunny since 2019, he's been. I'm making new music, but look at this 30 seconds of the song. Remember, it was legendary.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm like, how this guy's doing
And,
this?
and
But
to and real quick to not do it and to not do it to where it's like you're only caring about the nostalgia. It's like let's bring it back to
yup.
let's make a reference but also put some modern context on it, because there's a
I think
problem
there's
with sampling.
psychology on that. I think there's psychology in
Yeah.
that because I feel like for people, if you hear like 30 seconds something that it brings your brain back to a moment in your life, I think he purposely does that because it
Mm-hmm.
basically makes everybody go, and then you see like your hairs go up and your
Yeah,
heart starts
yeah.
to beat. That's so beautiful, done. Like psychologically done.
Yeah.
But LFA, what is the moment on the performance that you did? Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like when he gives his full name and says
Mm.
like I'm here because I didn't give up. I'm here because I kept going. I'm here because right I just believed in myself, and I think that's so important. You know what I mean? It's important to remi- remember why you're doing what you're doing. It's important to remember the vision that you have because you were given in a unique vision only for yourself that nobody else can replicate, nobody else can duplicate, nobody else can imitate. Right? It you are given your own mission. Right? It's up to you to carry out the mission and execute the mission. So, like,
That's a bar. Nah, I felt that one. Yeah.
it's like most people would say like touching back on it on because everyone talked about it, right? The NFL only gave him 50 carts to move his equipment into the field
Yeah.
and out of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so why did the people like why were people wearing grass outfits to overcome that challenge so that the significance could have that much more meaning?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just overcoming anything that life throws at you in order to achieve what you set out to achieve.
Yeah. And then the representation of the casa that a lot of people maybe don't understand why Bad Bunny has been bringing a casa to every concert or like what is the meaning of this? That casa, guys, it's like a normal house in Puerto Rico and it represents basically this is how our houses look in the island. Like this is a typical one floor houses. Houses in Puerto Rico are usually only one floor houses. Actually, there's no second, three floors. That's obviously if you're a millionaire and you just barely move there, right? But if you're like from the island, there's only one floor houses, and you have the entrance like that and the window like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioning though that it's kind of sad that the person that permit to use his house as the model, then he's been trying to basically sue Bad Bunny since to try to get money out of it. When everything he did, it was authorized. Like everything he did was permission to get this model of a house in Puerto Rico, and he used it for his whole, discography and like concerts. But then it's sadly that there's always people trying to get advantage of money, and after this guy give permission to use his house as a model, sadly he's always trying to sue the bunny, which I don't know how they deal with that, but that's another topic. There's gonna always come people for the famous and people like rising stars, right? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting to see those things too happen, which is not the first time that has happened to Bad Bunny. I don't know if you guys remember from his past albums, he has recorded different people's voices. one of his past albums when he was in love, sadly, was one of his ex-girlfriends. His ex-girlfriend also came for him. Like, she tried to sue him for using her voice in the album. So he's not his first round of being sued for things that are going on inside his discography. But people are always trying to take advantage, of people with money. So it's kind of sad. But I just wanted to mention, in case you guys didn't know, that the house model, yes, it's a real house in Puerto Rico that was used as the model to use it for him. It was agreed, but then the guy that it's the owner came back for more, I guess.
That's the type of double-sided coin stuff that I don't like. It's like people were always like, someone literally said in chat, like, greed is the leading killer in authenticity. Like, it's it sucks, but it's the truth of it all. But the performance still had that impact. Like, that one guy is not going to slow the impact of this down. So, but that's crazy.
I know. I think the moment that wow for me in his performance was I don't know. I was in the cloud watching the whole thing.
It's a lot to pick from, right?
I was like, oh my god, that's my house, that's my uncle, that's my aunt, that's my mantecado, that's my cafe. Damn, it was everything. But I think the most important part was at the end when he mentions, "Do not give up on yourself." Come on, guys. If you need some motivation, watch that minute when he's talking to you, because oh my god, my eyes are like bawling out. Like, come on, this guy is telling you do not give up on yourself, and I feel we all cross in our minds that moment when we're struggling, right? And we're like, it's true. I should not give up on myself and things like that. Especially some of us that has gone through a lot mentally. So I feel like that was a wow for me. And when he mentions the whole country list, I'm like, damn, this guy actually come here to memorize the whole map. That was hilarious.
Right. Honestly, if it were me naming all those countries, I would have messed up bad. In front of them. We would have to run. I wonder how many times he rehearsed that, because it's so. There were so many opportunities to mess up on that, but he nailed it.
I heard that on the practice, when he was practicing with the dancers, he was covering his face and hair, so they will not know what he was gonna say. So nobody knew that he was gonna say the countries. So he actually covered himself, so they would never know what was gonna be his words in the performance.
That's the dedication behind the scenes for this performance is like insane as well.
Yeah.
The one thing about the Lady Gaga section, someone pointed out, is that she did the song that she does with Bruno Mars. I'm blanking on the title, but it's a salsa version of that, of course. But the undertones of that is she is like, hey, you guys wanted someone that was basically a white performer up here. I'm giving you the white performer, but she's going to do it in our way. She's going to assimilate into our culture instead of the other way around. So I love that cool flip, is what everyone was like, why is Lady Gaga in the Bad Bunny performance? But also, he's just a fan of her. And they were kind of alluding to that the previous week during the Grammys. She walked up on him and surprised him. He was just like, oh, I didn't know you were there. And I think they did that on purpose, because it was like a wink, like, hey, I'll see you next week for the performance. So
do you remember everybody was trying to guess who he was gonna bring?
Yes.
And I was like, because people were saying Cardi B. I'm like, no. They already did that. Why would you repeat the same performance?
She was in the house. I guess she was like at the house, but she didn't actually perform. Yeah.
So I was thinking, damn, who's gonna bring? So I love that it was Lady Gaga. It was something different, something refreshing, and it was a message. It was a message there. But then let's talk about history music within Bad Bunny. I kind of want to touch this point because, again, this episode is being recorded, so some of you might be learning about Puerto Rico culture today. One of the songs of his album, I think, is super special, and it's the song of Café con Ron. For those of you that don't know, Puerto Rico, we basically are raised in our classes in history and in school that the island comes from 3 races: Spain, Africa, and Taínos, the Puerto Rico indigenous. So that's how they always explain our history since I was a baby, since everybody has been born, since every different territory, whatever, comes to the island. They say we come from Spain, Africa, and Tainos. Africa has a big impact culture in our island to the point that we have developed a genre called plena, bomba y plena. So that's why I wanted to explain it because people don't know that this song, Café con Ron, with Los Pleneros, which is the guys at the end that they're like with the things here, that's plena, and bomba, it's the other one that is more similar to the African style that is with the sounds of the tambores, but like with different style. Those two are basically inspired and always have been part of our culture. Like it's always been in the island. You go there, you know how you can get to teach how to dance bomba. You can get teach how to play plena with the pleneros and sing the different songs. So I wanted to explain that that song is super interesting because we haven't seen a plena song, never like this, like known globally. If you want to listen to plena, you go to Puerto Rico. We have our groups there that are really famous in the island and maybe Latin America, but it's not like we ever have exposure to the world. So Bob Bunny said, bet. People gonna know our culture, people gonna know our history, and people
Mm-hmm.
gonna know plena from Los Planeros. So that's why that song is different. And when you hear the instruments, pure beautiful, that's actually a genre from Puerto Rico, and again from our history, from Africa and our indigenous and Spain. Everything melted, we created those genres, and then I was super excited to see that. I was actually, oh my god, this guy just brought this genre to the world. Like I was in shock. You know, it's like
Yeah.
try to imagine that you always grow up listening to something that you think would never touch the world to be listened by, and then out of nowhere he just brought it out. Like it was like, oh my god.
One of the bigger, like I think it's so, it's beautiful to see that th- he can he can reflect on it and realize the magnitude of the platform that he's built, um to the extent that they like he understands that his platform is no longer about him, and it is about
Mm.
the people that he represents. And like the stage that he is on is not just for him, it is for, like, it is for people to be seen, it is for conversations to be started, it is um for people to feel validated, maybe in some way, shape, or form. um
Mm-hmm.
it's it like he just doesn't do it for himself anymore, you know what I mean? And that's such a beautiful thing to see. Like,
Right.
It was such a selfless album. Like, you know, like it was not centered on him. It was not about something that doesn't make sense. It was more like let's just show the world how Puerto Rico is and culture and history and everything.
Because he could have just like he could have just done the hits, like set up just just a stage and to just do like go through his hits, like no context, no historical references or anything. He didn't even have to do all of this, but he, like, to your point, he understands the significance of his spot, so he chose to do it anyway. And isn't it a thing where the budget of the show doesn't come from the NFL? It comes from the performer's own pocket, so he has to put his own contributions to it, which makes it even more impactful. So
mhm.
yeah, that's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on Bad Bunny or things that maybe you guys might want my help to explain things about the album and Puerto Rico history?
Let me look through the track list real quick, just
Oh,
to
what's your
see.
favorite song of the album? How about that? That's a good question.
Okay, so it's been, let's see, about roughly 2 months since I first listened to it. A thing I like to do with music, especially now, is having the time conversation. We can get on here and have like the album can drop. Let's say if an album drops Friday, I'll use Kaylani as an example. Kaylani's new album drops Friday. People will be so quick to be like, okay, first impressions on the Kaylani album. What do you think? and people decide what their opinions on that day, but they never take the time to like go back through it and live with it, and then that part of it is what I call the time conversation or the time argument. So if I'm looking at this now, there's a lot, like especially the back end of the album. It's just like, so on Spotify, every time you like a track, it's like a green little check mark. It's like green check marks on the back end of this entire album, like all just 6 back to back green, and of course a few at the beginning here. But I would say this is tough. I
For
like
me, it's hard.
I like
But
Ayo. I like Ayo as a hit. I like Hawaii for the story.
mhm.
The one you just explained, Cafe. Where is it? Wait, did I like that one? Okay, I don't know if I officially pressed the like button on this, but yeah, that was one of the ones I liked too. Oh, there it is. I got it highlighted. Yeah. Um, but Ayo, Hawaii, one of the first ones, Nueva York, even that
Oh
being
yeah.
a reference to Puerto Ricans. So that's another one, right? So one of the references I caught was the fact that like Puerto Ricans have such a huge presence in New York. Is there any more significance beyond that within that first track?
Mm. But ask the question again.
So with the first track, Nueva York, is
Mm.
there any underlying meanings or themes that he's discussing in the track? Because I think we already touched on the soundbite of the boxer, one of Puerto Rico's most famous boxers,
Hmm.
repping the country on like a huge big level. Like, yo, we're here. This is our country. I'm standing for them. Um, I was wondering if there's any other significance of that.
I feel he is using the song, and it's similar because it's actually another sample from
Mm,
a salsa group, which is called Gran Combo de Puerto Rico. They have a song that it's Un Verano in Nueva York. So I
mm-hmm.
think he just used that to bring again the nostalgia and the vibe. And then, like you mentioned at the beginning, there's a moment that a fighter says, like, we got this, because it's like a recording from an actual fighter
Yep.
back in the day. So I think the meaning of that song, he's explaining different moments in history in Puerto Rico and how they were known maybe in the US. Like going to New York as a summer thing, Willie Colon singing, our fighters going out there to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then he mentions the Yankees and the Mets, which are the two baseball teams that has the most Puerto Rican fans.
Yes. Yeah.
He could have mentioned Boston too, but we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And then like I think he used the song just to establish lines of things that has happened in history and how we get to know. And then I feel like basically the beat is amazing because it's like a nice like
Another one
dancing
of those
thing.
things. They take an older genre. It was a salsa sample, right? So
He
they,
brought a
yeah,
salsa song and converted it. Yeah, converted.
yeah. So it's kind of, and it's kind of like on top of like a house beat, a kind of reggaeton beat. So again, that fusion of like reminding people of like this historical genre of the country and of this culture, and then like bringing it into a modern context where anyone can enjoy it without losing the authenticity of it all. So that
Mm-hmm.
was cool to see. One more track I want to mention is ballet, the ballet track. That one goes, the one that goes full salsa for like 6 minutes. Um,
That's my favorite song.
yeah. What's some of the breakdowns of that? Like, I feel like there's something more being said.
I love that song because first, I love salsa. I love dancing salsa, and you guys know this. But Baile Inolvidable, if you guys see the music video, he uses one of our. Most of his videos are done with this actor from Puerto Rico that he's also a legend, and some people has forgotten him, but he's been a legendary theater um actor in Puerto Rico. So we also got super surprised about that this legendary guy can collaborate with Bob Bunny on his music videos. So that's the old guy that he's represented in every house.
Oh
This
yeah.
video, it's beautiful because it basically is saying, I thought I was gonna end up with you, or like growing old with you,
Mm-hmm.
and something happened that they didn't. So the song is basically remembering how he learned how to dance salsa with her when they were young. And in the music video, they put the old guy saying like, "I remember when I learned how to dance with salsa with her, and that she will always be the love of his life." So the song is a little sad, but then the fact that he brought on his music video also like a quinceañero in Puerto Rico, the party, the salsa, and basically explaining, I thought I was gonna end up with you, and the song is basically saying that, which is it's sentimental. So I was like, this song is beautiful, and it's salsa, so I just sing and dance the whole song. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it, and it felt so immersive. Like during that part, similar to what I said about the Cafe Con Ron, like
Mm-hmm.
super immersive. Like, because I don't hear that type of music often, so it's like I love going to somewhere new musically, and it being immersive, like I said earlier. So yeah, Hefe, do you have any favorite songs on the recent album?
I would say I would go towards. I'm trying to like play them in my head as I'm scrolling down the track list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like Nueva York just because for me the context there is just I think it's important to realize the Latinos here in the States that, you know what I mean, find ways to still pay homage
Mm.
to where they came from. Or, you know, and that's a whole different conversation in itself. Like, how many of us actually get the opportunity to visit the land that our parents came from? That's a whole experience in itself.
Mm.
Um, have you seen what they lived through or went through or did, um, where they grew up, what it looked like, what it might have felt like? um, I know, like for me, going to Guatemala once a year was huge because it would like, what do you mean it takes 6 hours from the airport or 4 hours from the airport to get home? What do you mean? You like there's just so many cultural things that people might not be exposed to, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there might be unique things that you can only experience if you go in person, right? And so the reason that I bring all that up in that song is because I feel like the Latinos in like New York or LA or, you know, all have like, and obviously everywhere, right? They're all around, but it's just there's those hubs
Yeah.
that the rest of the world might say, "Oh, that's where we go." You go to New York, you go to Florida, you go to California, right? Those are like the well-known spots for the community as a whole that lives outside of the US.
Yeah.
So,
Especially in Nueva York is the way that Puerto Ricans say New York, like Nueva York. And then
Yeah.
we have a big population of Latinos there. So I feel like he even did that strategically because he knows that this song is gonna be playing all the time out there in New York
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, whoa, we got a song, We are here. So yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. Even just speaking to musical history again, it like relates to like New York is such a culture hub for like supposed to be a culture hub for like all of like the US. Different cultures are supposed to collide together. Like
Mm-hmm.
New York City is supposed to be like the poster of that, of what the US as a country stands for. And I thought about how kind of related, unrelated, speaking into music history, I studied the origins of hip hop a lot. I love hip hop is one of my favorite genres, actually really my favorite genre. And one of the key reasons why hip hop even started is because of Jamaican culture and Jamaican DJs. And DJ Cool Herc, he's a part of from that culture, and he held the first hip hop party. Well, really, I think it was his sister that held the hip hop party, and he DJ'd and actually kind of put on the act of DJing, which led to, he used the big speaker systems that's used in reggae a lot. And it's a lineage of this stuff because reggae, of course, leads to reggaeton, or really to dance hall first, and then dance hall kind of loosely leads to reggaeton. And then as hip hop evolves onwards, people forget about that, forget about like where it originally came from. But seeing how it's all connected and how it came from these different spots and hubs from New York, where all these different cultures are coming together, it's interesting to kind of study and line up those different lineages of all that. So that's another thing I thought of like just now.
Yeah, and that's true because New York has a long history of uniting artists too. Because Puerto Rico artists back in the 90s will come to New York to try to do new music. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of salsa groups and clubs, they basically got developed in New York as well. Even though they're from Puerto Rico, they're from Cuba, they're from Miami, New York is like a central spot that it used to be big on making music or creating something new from a genre perspective. So I felt that's super interesting. And when you were mentioning Jamaica, remember when I told you the story about how in Puerto Rico we use in reggaeton the word yal?
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, Zion and Lennox, back in the 2000s, 90s, they do a lot of songs. Like they bring these new words to call a woman. Oh, ella es una yal. Ella es una yal. And Bad Bunny mentions it on his album, actually, in the reggaeton one, the song. That word yal, he explains that back in the 90s when he went to Jamaica, he heard the word gyal, which is girl, obviously in Jamaica,
right.
But he took it from the Jamaicans artists when they were together, and he said, I'm gonna bring this back to my home, Puerto Rico, and we're gonna call the ladies gyal. And I'm not even kidding, guys. This is part of our history because me growing up, we will tell all these girls una yal. we use it from a bad perspective because it's, I'm not even lying, this is part of our culture. We call the women that love reggaeton and they're like partying and that at trabajo, we call them yal in Puerto Rico. But that was developed because of a song that this guy invented, taking it from Jamaican like songs. And I'm like, isn't that crazy how words develop from just music and cultures? It's a whole thing, but fun fact.
Yeah, the slang and like language of it, like that's all important too. Like that all evolves. Even thinking about the like Africa's part of it in terms of like how the genres evolve and everything. Afrobeat also is derived from reggae to a certain extent, and then that's developed into its own thing. If you think about like Wizkid, Tim's, what they're doing now with their music, even actually going back to like how I first got into Bad Bunny, it was actually from when Cardi B, who also is from New York.
Oh, that song?
Yeah, I Like It with her and Bad Bunny and Daddy Yankee. That blew up, became one of her biggest hits, everything. And like of course he's a memorable part of the song, of course. But then I remember during the pandemic when the album he released during the pandemic, I Only Do What I Want, Zooey told me what that meant last time we talked about this, which I love. The album when he's on the bike, he has his third eye. That album blew up, and I think that really put him on like into a higher plane of like how popular he was or how big he was becoming. And I just kind of heard that was like bigger. And then the 2022 album, which was more tropical, that was known globally. Like he was Apple Music Artist of the Year from that. And it may have not been as like talked about in the American music spaces, but the rest of the world knows, especially like within South America, like they gotta know that he's like big. That's like his main audience. But the rest of the world also knows like how big he is globally. And that album really made an impact with everything, incorporating all types of dance music into it. Really enjoyed that album. So it's like hearing about the story from far away and like seeing the passionate fans, Zuli included, like tell their stories about like, yo, this is why this artist is so important right now. That made me want to get into it more, and here we are now, like talking about it. So yeah, and I love like, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask Hefe, like, additionally to Latin trap, is there any other genre that you're a fan of? That I'm curious now.
Yeah,
to see what you listen to.
I'm a little bit of everything. So, hip hop, rap, I some country, not a lot, right? Unless I'm sad and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
but no, like it's a lot of for me. I'm a big, big, big lover of like bachata. Um, what's it called? Sorry, I read chat. What's it called? I'm a huge lover of bachata. That is my like comfort music, right? Like where I just kind of relax, vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but um, I do like rock and roll and stuff like that, and
I
I
feel
can go
like you're like
anywhere.
everything. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
have a sense that you like everything, just like me. I feel like I
I
can
think
feel it, but I feel like you like rap a lot. Like Nighthawk and you will get along a lot. Like you guys have similar beginnings, origins of music likings, I will
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I think it's important to um expand horizons, right? Expand
Yeah,
the knowledge
definitely.
base and get the
Yes.
different perspectives, and like it's very important. Like it's kind of like a culture thing too, to be honest with you. Like, you
Mm.
know, my mom would tell me growing up, right? Like, I know this isn't like very music related, but it's my mom said you're gonna try everything at least once. If you don't like it after that, that's your thing. But you trying it once,
Nice. That's a
right?
great advice.
Mm-hmm.
You could take that
And then
mentality everywhere. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like with music, right? You show me a track, but then take it one step further and then tell me why you like it and tell me what it means to you so I can learn more about you. Or like for example, right? One thing I love doing is a little thing that I pick up on, and you might if take this, try this next time. Go to your friend, show them a song, and see what they pick up on. Because most people go one of two ways. They either like the lyrics or they like the beat. Which
Mm-hmm.
one do they pick up on? Which one are they more focused on? For me, it's always the lyrics. If the lyrics can resonate, if the lyrics can mean something to me, I like the song. Um, but then there are people that like they're like, oh, I love like the high beat nature or the
There are
beats and the
exceptions to the
bops.
rule though. Because
Ah,
when we open up to new languages, we're gonna like the beats because we don't understand the lyric.
This this,
uh-huh.
this is me.
And that's how
Unfortunately, yeah, this is me. Yeah.
but that's no, it is so interesting, and
Yeah.
I feel like me and Ihog, we actually got together in a moment in our lives when I told him, yo, Ihog, there's this streamer that I'm super close. He's in the UK. Every Friday, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Do you remember what day it was? Every Friday, every Tuesday, he will just put
Uh.
YouTube to discover new music. And that's how I discovered Colors, the series of Colors, that YouTube
Yes.
channel that they
Yeah.
put new artists to sing. And oh my god, me and Iha, we connected on this girl that had amazing, beautiful songs. She only had like only a few followers, but her music was so beautiful. I was like, I'm listening to this woman because her music is amazing. The same
Mm-hmm.
way I told him, hey, you
Mm-hmm.
should check Ray from the Grammys. Her
Oh
voice,
my.
and this is what I love. Like, I love music from all perspective, even though
Yeah.
at the moment we might not understand it. But when I saw these different type of things, I was like, wait, I have to open up my Spotify to other genres. Let me continue checking other artists.
My one of my best friends, or my best friend, has recently like taught me the genre of like UK grime or
Wait,
UK.
Mm,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, UK
UK.
grime. Right. Like,
Grimes.
huh? What? Right. And then like um she showed me a track of like Ed Sheeran before he was Ed Sheeran. Before he was all
Oh.
blown up. Like literally the track is so, like, you would think he's got a verse, he does this, he does that. He's Ed Sheeran, right? No.
Yeah.
Literally the back the like little snippet of a vocal. He's just like humming along, doesn't have a real verse, but it's Ed Sheeran before Ed Sheeran. Yes?
Yeah.
Like, but it's, I love when you can start delving into something that is completely new to you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because then takes you out of the normal, takes you out of the mundane routine, takes you out of like what you already know, and it
Mm-hmm.
teaches you something new.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, a good way that I open up my community to do is like my Discord has a music channel.
Okay.
And every time I tell them, hey, I want to discover new music, put what you're listening this week. And it's been actually amazing. Mostly it's Nighthawk, but Emery sometimes posts music too, and like different people
Emery. Yep.
post music. But I'm always telling them, hey, what you guys are listening, because I want to see new artists, new music videos, and it's the best thing. Because I feel like, oh my god, we can listen to music forever, no ending.
What,
Like there's
what
so many songs.
Yeah.
one thing you can, another thing I can recommend to you is I've been doing this with that same friend. Is doing a jam on Spotify. Like
Oh yeah.
using that tool, using the, yeah. And most people would be like, why would you do that? Because then I add a song, you add a song, you add a song. We might not know the song.
And we
Like,
discover each song. Yeah, that's a good one.
So how does that work? Is it like a live thing, or is it like you're building a playlist together?
I
well,
think you can be in the same Wi-Fi first if you're locally, right? But if you're apart, you just invite them to the
mhm,
jam.
Oh,
mhm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And then you are listening to it at the exact same time. And so if it's paused, it pauses for everyone. And then if it
Yeah,
Oh,
plays,
okay.
you know what I mean? But I think those are like very cool things that, like, oh, I
that's a good
remember this
one.
one. And then, you know,
You might have just
when
Or
given
even doing
us.
like a
Uh huh.
playlist together, right? We can do like a
Yeah.
playlist
Mm-hmm.
together and keep adding, and we're like discovering new songs. Or we didn't like this one, let's remove it.
what,
Yep.
the flip side of that too, another thing you could possibly, I've heard about this on social media. You can have your friend build a playlist for you if
I've
you are
done that.
gonna. I haven't done that. I want to try it.
No, but my it's a different story. There was this friend that we were talking since I was in Puerto Rico, and she was in Oklahoma, Ohio, I think, or something. And she was such like a nice girl that I met through social media. And I told her, hey, I'm gonna build a Spotify for you, but you tell me what music you listen to. She would listen to like indie music that I've never heard before, and they became one of my favorite albums, bands from back then. And recently they came to New York. I'm like, oh my god, look at the history of, in 2010 or something, I met this girl through social media. She gave me a songs, and now I know this band because of her. And I built her like a playlist. She listened to the songs, and it was interesting. Like, I feel like definitely music unite a lot of people, I would say.
No.
I think
Yeah.
you could do something like, if I'm driving to work, if I'm waking up, if I'm getting ready for bed, if I'm doing this, doing X, doing Y, doing Z, you know, I think just it definitely gives the ability to share in experiences in a way that we might not be able to before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you think music can be similar? to video games. And this is something we might talk later on in another episode, but I people have known me for FPS and Apex Legends. But now when they go to my channel, I feel my followers started to get weird because why she's playing MLB this show? Why is she playing Marvel Rivals the next day? Why is she playing? And I feel I'm just talking from a perspective of opening your mind to video games. I've done that project on myself this past year. I've been playing games that people never thought I was gonna play because I wanted to try them on, and I've been falling in love with different types of genres of variety of games. And now I'm not an FPS gamer. I variety. Give me a game. Like right now, I want to try that PI game, for example, in the Switch too.
Mouse PI.
Or I could do Pocobia. But maybe obviously being in Twitch is different because people might follow you for a certain game only, which it could impact you negatively. Like maybe people that only follow me for FPS stuff, now they're like, she's not playing Apex, she's not playing Call of Duty. I don't know, I don't want to see her.
There's a lot here.
For my mentality, I'm good. I'm enjoying a game. You want to support me or not? That's their decision. That's your followers. But I feel like everybody should enjoy what you like. Music, video games, everything.
And our streams and content should embody that. Like you hit the nail on the head between like music and video games. My goal for my content like going forward is, in my opinion, gaming should be like a toy box. Like you have so many toys to play with, you don't always just want to like, you have your main favorite toys, of course. Me would be like Mario Kart, Nintendo games, love Mario, love Sonic, love my platformers, racing games, anything like that, adventure games as well. But every now and again, like I'll go back to my retro games. I try to get people on the same, it's hard to get people on the same page when you play something different every stream. Like earlier this year, I've been big into rhythm games this year because I feel like it's where music and gaming
you're starting to get known because of rhythm games.
For sure, yeah. Those games have such big communities, especially like they're like cult classic rhythm games, but then like newer rhythm games that have like people that only watch their stuff, but they're not as big as like Call of Duty or Apex, but there's still this community out there. Unbeatable, it was this game where music is illegal in that world, but a band is forming, and you go on this whole adventure of forming said band, kind of like anti-establishment, like rock kind of vibes, which I've already been liking because kind of a cross entertainment thing. Back in 2022, I feel like my rock awakening kind of started with Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which came out in 2010. But I've been hearing like this is like an action rom-com movie, but like highly referential to video games, and it has its own video game that was back then it had a video game based on the movie, but then it also had an anime that came out that same year, 2022, I think. And then this year they had another game called Scott Pilgrim EX, which is a beat 'em up. It's not a rhythm game, but a beat 'em up. So I was playing that in March. And then Mouse PI, which Julie just mentioned, is an old school Doom shooter that's in the body of Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse detective world. So everything's in black and white, noir kind of feeling. The protagonist self monologues, like it's a whole thing. And I'm enjoying that game currently. And I know people going to my channel sometimes are just like, man, this guy cannot focus on one thing for like several streams, unless it's an adventure game maybe. But it's just like, man, one day he's doing.
Love it, though. I can watch the streamer go to different games. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, interesting how people react to different video games, or like how the reactions, or how funny. Same thing with music. Like I feel I love listening to different music. We have different reactions. We have different interpretations, and I think that's what I wanted to bring. The point is that I feel sometimes video games and the things that we do, we game, we stream, are similar to also opening our minds to music of different genres. Like for example, I'm a big fan of Supernatural series. I don't know if you guys like that series. I watched the whole thing. They have freaking like how many 12 seasons, like a whole 20 seasons. I don't know. It's long.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it in 2 years. At
Yeah.
the end, when they launched this last season, I discovered a video of Dean Winchester, the character, singing a song of country music. And I have encounters with country music before, but I never actually have like a song that I would know it by memory. When I saw this actor singing the song of Whiskey, I got caught in that, and now sometimes randomly I walking around somewhere and they put the music, I start singing, people are like, this girl singing the Whiskey song? I'm like, yeah, I like that music, but it's because it got pulled to me because my favorite character of Supernatural was singing it live, and now I got the song in my mind. So that's an example of how I discover also like new music. Like I'm not like a big country person, but I do have my two songs that I like.
Yeah, like with country specifically,
unless there's new stuff going on, right? Like I discover it.
Yeah, like I was never the biggest country fan, but what I realized is that it's little things that kind of led me to be like, okay, you know what? I like this part of country. So Lil Nas X had his song Old Town Road back in 2019. That was like country trap. And, you know, I'm already liking trap. Like I'm a big hip hop person.
I need to listen to this.
Wait, you've heard Old Town Road, right?
Possibly. Let me check.
You've heard it. There's no way.
I guarantee when you hear it, you'll hear it. You'll know exactly.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, it's this one.
Billboard.
And if you don't, I'm taking my headset off and I'm walking outside. All right, just letting you know.
Wait, hold up. What's the song?
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road.
Yeah, Lil Nas X.
I'm getting banned, guys.
Yeah, if you don't know this song
with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yes. Yeah.
If you don't know it,
we're gonna give it a second so you can listen to it.
No.
Oh, don't wait for me. Keep talking.
All right. Nah, but like it was that one.
She could be like, yeah, I know this one. Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, totally, totally.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Listen to damn, this song is fire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Okay, anyways, party for the next time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, you may have given us a good idea with like the jam, Spotify jam sessions. That might need to be an episode of Save Point for sure. But going back to so that was like my first moment of like, okay, I like this mixed with trap. Because really the best thing about hip hop is that you can kind of sample anything from any genre, and not only can that put me onto that genre, this happened with funk music. Like I love funk music now because of how much hip hop has sampled it, and I love digging into samples and seeing where this drum come from, where this bass line come from. And when I listen to the original songs, I'm not only listening to the sample, but I'm letting the song play out, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like this song. And funk in a way was really a precursor to hip hop. So, you know, sampling, like bringing in a guitar element into like a trap beat, like that's gonna hit especially for 2019, and it's gonna put on other country artists now, like Shabuzi, for example. He's another person that does country trap.
I've heard about Shabuzi because he was in, I think it was DreamHack Atlanta.
Yes, yeah, he performed. Dang,
but back then I didn't know nothing about him, so we didn't go to see him. But he was in DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah.
So shout out to DreamHack. Now I'm interested in listening to this genre.
and you know,
country music with trap. Wait, hold up. I need to connect.
Another music history moment, Beyonce's Cowboy Carter.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Huge, like it's not so much, and that's where we get to like it's not so much country music from beginning to end, but it's more like representing Americana, like that whole aesthetic. So you can have country, you can have soft rock, you can have even indie rock, rock and roll in like the 50s and 60s style of rock and roll. All types of, even bringing in her modern day her normal genres that she normally does, like R&B, soul, pop, all of that. And one of the things that's said throughout the album, I want to say it was Dolly Parton that said it, or one of she had so many guests with that album. She was like, genres are a funny thing, aren't they? And it said right before the song called Spaghetti, which is kind of has this guitar riff, but she's basically rapping on it. And the beat is amazing. That if you could just listen to Cowboy Carter like from beginning to end, it's a little long, but it feels like an audio film, but like musically, like so much lyrically going on. There's an opera song on there where she's doing these amazing
music
vocals.
To listen after this.
Yes.
Music to listen. You know what? I kind of want to bring this question to you guys and let me know how your imagination creation goes far. If you want, okay, this is my opinion. But Bunny, this amazing album. I don't think this is gonna happen again. I don't know how he's gonna step up from here. I don't know. He can make more of that, probably. But the impact of this album has been immensely. So I feel like this is like a big touchdown for him. Like it's up there. If you guys were to put Bad Bunny to do a song with an artist, who you will pick to do a song with? Like, put that creative mind and say, "Ooh, I think I would love Bad Bunny with this artist." I wanna see what is your opinions and who you choose. And he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it until this point.
He hasn't done it
because obviously, if he already did a song with them, then it's done.
Let me look up.
I'm gonna pick a trap.
I'm gonna look up to confirm, but Hefe, if you have one, you can go first. Let's see. I think I have mine. Got it.
Funny, we have the same person.
So, I'm gonna go with Masego.
Damn, that would be fire.
Yeah, Masego. He did. For people that don't know, he's a lot of things. I'm trying to pick the genre that's.
Is the one with the song of Dada?
Yes, one of my favorite videos and songs that I've discovered or really rediscovered this year. It has jazz, there's R&B, there's hip hop, like, and that's kind of all he is, right? And he's from that. I believe he's Jamaican too, so he does like kind of reggae. So since he already has that background, I would love to see what he and Bad Bunny cook up together.
Oh my god, that would be hot.
Yeah.
Yes. I love Masego.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would go.
Really?
He
already has Eladio. You cannot mention Eladio.
Yeah, and Eladio's like one of my personal favorites, like all time. I don't know. For me, like, I would love to see him bring back an old, like another, like, obviously
like a legend.
Yeah, like think of like a Maná or a Santana.
Oof.
Or
that'll be nice, like a nice rock mix, reggaeton. Maná.
He hasn't touched rock either, right?
We gotta investigate though. I gotta listen to all his albums because I have a feeling he might have thought about it, but
yeah.
Oof, Maná. That'll be fire too. Guess who's gonna be my pick? I don't know why. I feel like this person does a song with this guy. America's gonna get on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Childish Gambino.
Okay. Oh, I'm down for that. I am, and that's another person who kind of dips into with this recent album, which I also recommend, Bando Stone. What's it called? The character is Bando Stone, and in a New World or something like that. Where he has this like kind of I think it's Afrobeat. If it's not Afrobeat, it's like reggae-ish. But he does it with Amare, another great Afrobeat artist, kind of experimental Afrobeat artist with like this hyper voice. throws you off at first, but when you get used to it, it's like a whole like vibe getting into her stuff. But he already has like a song like that, so I feel like he can blend in with Bad Bunny pretty well. Also, real quick on Amare, she released this album last year called Black Star. She's from Ghana, and as we're talking about people that rep their country, the whole album cover is like just her behind this giant Ghana flag, and she's bringing back genres. I think using like dembo rhythms is what it's called.
Oh.
And if you've heard like different like, it's like I think it's not Brazilian funk because that's from something else. I'm thinking of what's the girl that did with the Weeknd? Sao Paulo, Anita.
Anita.
Yeah, another big artist. She did Sao Paulo with the Weeknd, and it was kind of like kind of similar to that reggaeton Afrobeat reggae tree. It's all kind of connecting together, but yeah, Amare Black Star, that album is really good, and like really I love how she reps her.
Listen.
Yeah, she really reps her country with that one and brings back a lot of those styles. So
yeah, but I feel like Childish Gambino, Bad Bunny, they do a song, This Is America Part 2.
Honestly, that would be
This
insane.
Is America Part 2 with some Spanish, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And like this is America, meaning all of America, not just the US, all of America.
Yo, my mind went out there, but I know that I think Childish Gambino, isn't he gave up on music and he's acting more now, or is it the other way? I think he was now doing comedy again or something.
Yeah, he's not he had his last album as Childish Gambino. We don't know if he's going back into music as just Donald Glover or if he's just going into his other talents. So
I love Childish Gambino. One of my favorite songs is 3005.
Love that song.
That was thanks to Cornbread. We will put it on repeat every day.
But and real quick, you mentioned Aja, the singer that when you played her on stream, I was like, Zooey, who is this? Because it did like I love jazz too, by the way. So
jazz is one of my favorites. So that's why Nighthawk and I we know the songs that are good because I love jazz.
It was like,
oh my god.
It was a few minutes in, and there was just like chord change. It was like dun dun dun. I was like, whoa, what is this? Please give me the title of this one. And since then, I've now become a fan. You know, like she said, she doesn't have that huge of a following, but her song, the song is called "Told You So," and it's Aja, Adja. Kind of a jazz. She does a lot of like jazz soul kind of songs. She released an album last year, which I wouldn't have known about if I didn't start following her from that one song and listen to the rest of the EP, and then listen to her newest album, which is honestly just as good as when I first discovered her. So it's stuff like that.
She has such a beautiful voice, guys.
Yeah.
If you like jazz and you like to listen to instruments or like the woman's voice, actually she can go like high notes and things. Adja, definitely. She has only 40,000 listeners in Spotify, which is surprising because she has such a beautiful voice. Like I'm telling you, this girl knows how to sing. Yeah.
And some of these artists will appreciate the support. Like I went to go see Leon Thomas live last year. And there's a singer who was the opener that wasn't even on the poster. I was like, oh, is this Ombre? And it was like, oh no, this is this other singer called Charity. And I was like, really, I'm here to just like hear her out and see like what she has going on. R&B artist, newer R&B artist, and very unique sound to where she stands out. Like she had just released her EP and she performed some of those songs on stage. I was like, okay, these sound good. I'm gonna actually go back to it. And when I did one of my reviews for her and saying like how much I like the music and sharing my favorite songs, she was like, she looks at the story and she was like DMing me like, yo, thank you for sharing this. Like, I'm glad you enjoyed the whole thing. So
that's nice.
Those smaller indie artists, they see who's supporting, and it's not to just for me to get like recognition or anything. I'm just loving the music and I love putting it out there. But it's cool to have that relationship with those artists.
I know. And one of my favorite artists, and I don't know if you, every year since 2 3 years ago, Spotify rap always brings my first artist is always Artie. And Artie, guys, is it's someone I met through Twitch.
Yep.
He makes music. He's in the UK. He has 1 or 2 albums, maybe or three, and then I put his songs on repeat because they're so relaxing, they're chill. So if you guys have been on my streams, it's his music that I'm playing, and he always keeps coming on Spotify as my first artist. So RT, we support you if you guys don't know him. But yeah, I am RTB on Spotify. I think he was making new songs.
Yes, glad to, and he even not to put all his business out there.
Which is crazy that we met through Twitch in just a channel, and then literally we love each other. It's like we're brother and sister from far away.
Yeah, and like he's like, yeah, I've been out for a little bit. He did like an update video, and he's like slowly getting back to the process. And I feel like for him, this is what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. It seems like he had like a couple of life experiences that might shape his new music to be like, yo, I have all these things to say, and I feel like he's really going to put it into the lyrics. You know, Hefe was talking about lyrics earlier. There's going to be something with this new album that I'm like really looking forward to from him. So nice. Yeah, RTB, he's great. He's great.
As you guys know, we're recommending a lot of artists. Well, we're passionate about music, so
yes,
sorry about that. But any other last thoughts about, I guess, Bad Bunny's touch on music history? And then Nighthawk, do you want to do the transition to another area, or how you want to handle it?
I'll mention one more artist after we go through our last Bad Bunny thoughts.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll give it to Hefe. You got any last thoughts for Bad Bunny?
Just for me, it started off as a love letter, or like not a love letter, right? It started off as oh, he's cool, I think. All right, cool. He's another one of the he's another one of the traperos. He's cool, I guess, yeah. And then just learning it was the moment where the life journey comes into it, and it expanded past the music. That's where my admiration for Bad Bunny came in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and then just hoping and aspiring to have the ability to speak for or on behalf of a larger group of people is just so inspiring. That is a whole different level. It transcends the music, honestly.
For sure.
Do you find interesting that like his last album before his last one was like trap? Do you find that interesting? Like he wanted to do like a full trap album, and then he created this amazing fusion of like Puerto Rico history.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the trends, like again, just that transition again of the transition of people, like going from you to other people, from you to the collective, from you to the community, from you to them, right? Because I think it's very important that a platform be used to speak on the bigger issues as well.
Yeah, I have my thoughts about Bad Bunny though, because what was the name of the album before this one?
Let me look it up. Let's see, I have this thing up. It's the one with the horse, right?
Yeah, the one with the horse. Nadie sabe lo que va a pasar mañana.
So no one.
I have a feeling. I remember when this song was launched at midnight because my now fiance had the phone pulled up when the song was released. I heard his pain. I heard his thoughts, and he did that album full trap and here and there. But I went to the concert of Bad Bunny in Philly to see him, and he actually brought a horse, by the way. He was dressed in that cowboy outfit and everything. I'm not even lying to you guys. I saw him perform and he seemed, I feel that I see him like depressed. He looked really bad to the point that I told my fiance, I enjoyed the concert. I was actually sick. I went to the concert sick. I enjoyed the concert. I was like recovering from being sick, but I felt his vibe and the way that he was speaking. I don't know if you guys remember. He didn't have his hair grown yet. It was like
Yeah.
bald growing. When he was speaking, oh, like, I've been like life and this and that. I think he sounded so heartbroken, and I told my fiance, somebody needs to help him. I hope he gets therapy because he sounds bad. And I think it was at the same time after there was like the dating thing going on with the Kardashians too, because when you get famous, they get pulled to this type of circles, and I think
Hmm.
I always thought that it was a mistake of him dating her, but my opinion, because obviously famous people try to date the famous people because you get pulled with that. He sounded so bad. So when I tell you that it was a wake up call when I saw this new album coming like a year, 2 years later, he looks refreshed. He looks like he was actually on top of his health, studying history of Puerto Rico. He was in college and grabbing books. I was like, oh my God, thank God he looked for help. I think he did, because when the difference of how he sounded on that concert, I was so concerned. I was like, hopefully he doesn't think nothing negative, because he sounded like that, guys. I'm not even lying. And he did a good performance, but the way that he was speaking, I was like, oh my God, but Bunny's really depressed, I think. Like the way that he refers to things, and he's saying, no, I like the support of you guys. Like you guys are the reason I'm here. But like even if I didn't want to wake up today, like something like that, he was saying on the concert. I was like, holy moly, this guy needs help. But thank God
Yeah.
he looked for it, and look at him, he's shining. So that's why I feel that message when I see him on the performance say, "Do not give up on yourself," is coming from literally experience, because I'm telling you, there was a big change of his aura from the last concert album that I saw in Philly, and now oof, it was a whole 360 change of how he looked, how he sounded, how happy he was, how sentimental, like he will cry of happiness. I'm like, mental health is important, guys, and especially those artists go through a lot. So I was
Yeah.
happy that he recovered from that.
To piggyback what both of you were talking about, like that level of stardom and being public, like that does a
Mm-hmm.
lot to like a lot of people. But celebrities obviously, but even celebrity people who become overnight celebrities, or people who even content creators like us, like we're maybe not as big as Bad Bunny, but we have our own public platforms, and we're we can feel like how sometimes we can get depressed. We can't. There's a lot of work that goes behind
Oh
some of this
yeah.
stuff that people won't even know about. We talked about it on the last stream with GQ on content creation be art. Um, there's a lot that goes into this, and there's a lot of, especially when you release a video out on the internet, might, let's say if there's controversy, that's a lot of voices coming at
Mm-hmm.
you, just to one person, and it's hard to deal with that. Is you could try to shut it out, you could be good at ignoring it, but that still affects you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I have I've had like one video that went crazy on IG to 200 and something, 200, about like 200K views, several comments, several of these people, like different reactions, different like emotions from people, and I'm like receiving it all. Eventually I turned off the comments, and I was just like, okay, I don't need to look at all this is where I need to practice that whole thing of like, hey,
It's a lot.
I don't know these people,
And you
they're
know what's crazy?
yeah.
It's a good lesson that we have to always learn every day. And I feel like that's something that I'm actually working towards myself on this. Is that you have to always accept every human that you're gonna maybe face on the daily on work, or
Hmm.
at your Twitch or at social media. They all come from different backgrounds, experiences. So they will have a probable negative comment, negative thought about you or something. And I feel like maybe even thinking about the fact that people will not agree with you on things. Like
Right.
we have to mentally prepare ourselves every day for that. And sometimes maybe because we're gathered with the people that we love and the same good community, it's amazing to have a good community, but sometimes we have to step out of places ourselves alone. Like we go to work, we're not gonna be in the whole community that we have to work. We gotta deal with someone that it's actually being bad to you or something. Like it's actually interesting that we have to manage all these things mentally as a content creator, as a human being. So imagine like artists that they have to deal with people's opinions of how you should live your life. That's what I'm telling you. Like when I see people commenting about artists and their dating lives and things, I'm like, I know we have an opinion, but you should not take it that serious. Like what I just said. I said, hey, you shouldn't date it Kardashian, but it was his life. He can do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
Like things like that. I feel like humans nowadays in social media, they don't think about that. They're like, hey, they're humans. They can make mistakes.
And yeah, and the thing is, it's like you could be a person that has an opinion and comment that, but you'll just move on with that throughout your day. You're just like, okay, on to the next video, comment next video, comment next video. But like the people that make those videos are getting all these comments. Like some people don't understand what it's like on the receiving end. And even thinking about what it takes to do this performance, something that's honestly revolutionary in a way of like how many references and statements that he made through the music or the visuals. That takes a lot to do, to the point, like, Zulie, I remember you were telling me, like, after he got off that stage, he looked visibly kind of uncomfortable. Like, he was relieved when they played I Should Have Taken More Photos song, and like he was dancing with the crowd. I could feel the relief of so much work that was finally fully realized in that performance. But then right after that, when he's walking through that tunnel and all these cameras are on him and everyone's like looking at him, he's kind of just like trying to navigate his way through the crowd, and like he just did a defiant kind of performance in a way. Some law enforcement might be on him for doing some of the stuff, like
that's
the stuff with the Puerto Rico flag.
Like the fact that yes, he was happy and he finally, I feel like he felt relief, like, oh my god, I did this. But then I was so scared of what will happen from there when he goes to the car, like, you know. Something can happen, and even he disappeared for a couple days. I actually was concerned. I was telling my fiance, "Oh my god, hopefully my buddy's okay after that."
Yeah.
Nobody got him, right? Nobody got him.
Right.
Can you say something on your story that you're alive? Because I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is actually interesting in how a lot of artists, and you know what's crazy, Hefe? Talking about this, guess what I'm thinking about his music? Eladio. Because in Eladio has some trap songs and some nice songs that they talk about the challenge of the day. Like, today is a good day. Today is a good morning. We have to give blessings to God for being alive. Like, Eladio has some songs like that I actually like. But it's interesting because we're talking about challenges and things, and I feel Eladio is a Latin trap guy, but he has some good blessing songs because, you know, he's a believer too. He has now family and babies and everything, so like he's pretty chill to listen to as well. So I was thinking about him.
He's very good in the sense that I know the song that you're referencing, right? It's one of the newer ones. I think it's very important to be thankful for what you have, but also what you don't have. Thankful for being present in the moment.
Thank God.
You know, like some people will say, I want that. Then they get it and they're like, oh, I didn't want that. Right? Like
maybe there's a reason that we don't have certain things in life. Or also, I feel like you should never focus on something. You have to look around what you have already before focusing on that something.
It's like those things where they ask, right? Or you ask for courage, and so you're given the challenge. You're asking for intelligence or wisdom, and so you're given something that you might not think is associated with whatever you're asking, right? Like, I see those types of things or images on Instagram all the time, and it's just being thankful for what it is that you're going through, even though if you don't know in the moment why you're going through it.
It's the most frustrating thing too when you're going through it, because you just be looking at like like, God, why? You want to know the answer then, but you can't, because you got to go through the process, and then you look back at him, and then you look back at him, and you're just like, you were right for putting me through that. I was tripping. I needed to go through that. So.
And one of the ways that we can know that we're not alone is through music.
Yes.
All these artists are telling us stories. All these artists are making art out of their bad experiences, good experiences about love, about salsa dancing. And I feel like that's why music is super important in our lives, because sometimes we don't even know how to express ourselves in the world, and music is a way of language. Like 100%, like the way Eladio is gonna do a nice song, and when you're listening to it, you're like, damn, contra, like I suffered that today. Or like you're gonna listen to Bad Bunny talking about how he wanted to grow old with his love, but he couldn't, but he still loves her, and that's still his biggest love. Things like that. It's a song he created. Maybe it's a Fantasia, but like, there's things that we think about when we're listening to music. So I think the history of music is super important from a human perspective, right?
Yes. One last question from that. Is there something I thought about? Music is the universal language, as you were saying. Like, there's, of course, a lot of languages in the world, but music is that one where everyone could feel how a song resonates. Not even just with lyrics, just with like the notes and how like drums and instruments can do to a person. There's a primal reaction there. What is, even outside of Bad Bunny, what is a song that really resonates with you? I think we touched on some, but I'll start first. I love Daft Punk. One of my favorite artists, electronic group. I mean, hopefully people should know them. I mean, they're one of the most iconic electronic acts in history. And they're one of those artists where you go back to their albums. Like, I've been hearing them since I was a kid, and then getting into the albums when I was in high school, but now really dissecting them when I was in like college, and like now as an adult. Shout outs to the Dissect podcast on Spotify. Amazing work that he's been doing with this season with Daft Punk, and talking about the history of house music, the history of them taking their influences and making a new sound out of that. And one of the songs I really like recently is called Giorgio by Moroder. I think he pronounces his name Giorgio. Giorgio Moroder is a groundbreaking electronic artist who kind of paved the way for disco within the 70s, and he's on Daft Punk's album Random Access Memories. And during his song, he's talking about his own come up of like, I knew I wanted to do music, and this is how I got started out. And there's little details of it. I'm not going to go too long into it, but the song pretty much evolves as his story is evolving. So it kind of starts out as like a disco song with little like bass and drums and stuff. But when he starts talking, it says like, okay, this is how I made this sound with the synths that you always hear in disco. That gives you a lot of energy. And then what do you hear after that? A synth, the synth riff, and it just keeps going for like minutes and minutes and minutes. And then he says this line, favorite part of the song, he says his line where he's like, once you free your mind of the concept of right or wrong or music being correct, you can do anything you want. And then the instrumental kind of just opens up, and now you hear strings, frantic live guitar. That same synth came back, but now it's like more urgent. And then you hear an electric guitar, it like all this different stuff, to where it's not just disco anymore, it's not just jazz, it's not just rock or whatever, it's just music at that point. And it's this energy where the reason why it resonates with me is because that whole part about stuff being right or wrong, once you forget about that, you can kind of do whatever you want. That is creativity in a nutshell. Like, Twitch, my streams don't, going back to the whole gaming is a toy box thing for me. I don't have to just get on here and play Mario Kart every day, or we don't have to just do save point episodes till the end of time. we can do all of it all together. That makes up our own sort of discography of like streaming, and this adds to the variety of doing anything on Twitch. I'm thinking about bringing back doing music making sessions because I want to make music again, but I kind of just want to start from the I don't even want to think about what my next work is, EP or song or whatever. I just want to make something again, and doing that off and then on stream would be cool for everyone else to see, and maybe everyone else to get like influenced by that. Maybe you don't even make music, but you can create something else being influenced by my creativity. So anyway,
yeah,
that's one of my favorite songs recently that's like really resonated with me.
I'm putting on the list to listen to.
Yes.
Jefe, what do you think? That question is hard when you have so many. We have so many tastes of music, but
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I think my big three, just three artists right now at the time that I can kind of just resonate to and go to and just vibe with. Throwback is Carlos Santana, just because I mean, like, make the guitar cry, right? The different ways, everything that he can do with the guitar. Yes, please, absolutely. What's it called? Second of all, Eladio Carrion. You know, just that's big on my playlist right now. Or actually, okay, I gotta give you four. It's Santana, Eladio Carrion, Mike. Mike Stud is
okay.
old, right? But Mike, period. Songs like Rodman, right? Rodman is huge for me. Sorry, hold on. My stomach is growling like crazy. I was like, oh.
We're not gonna hear it.
I was like, oh, I thought you could hear it. That's why I was tripping. I was like,
oh no, I couldn't hear it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mike Rodman, love that song. That's one of my favorite songs. He performed it here in Chicago, and started raining as the performance was going on. And you would think, oh, like, there's a video of it. I have to find it. I'll share it with y'all once I find it. But he's like, no. He's like, forget it. We're gonna play it out. Like, let's do it. And it was like one of the coolest things. Russ is a huge artist for me too. Love him. Anything with him, really. He has old videos of where like he would make his beat and he would show you why he did his beat that way. So
nice.
So yeah, Russ, Eladio Carrion, Mike, and Santana.
Send me those names. There's too many mics in Spotify.
When you said Mike at first, I thought you meant the underground rapper Mike. He works with Earl Sweatshirt. But it is someone different. I have heard of Russ though. Russ, I remember a lot of people liking Russ. Yeah.
Well, something about a lot of people will not actually know this about me, or they might know. I listen to everything, guys. Like, I listen to everything except Oprah. I always said that. My favorite song that I identify with is Chop Suey. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That doesn't make any sense. Kidding. Okay. You know that one of the songs that I discovered, it will make me cry, is have you guys watched The Greatest Showman?
I have not watched it, but I've seen
musical?
it. Excuse me, I haven't seen it, but I heard it's really good.
You have to. There's two songs from the album of The Greatest Showman that it just inspires you, and what it's called This Is Me. From now on, those two, it talks about I'm not gonna hide anymore from the people. I'm not gonna care about what they say about me. Like, this is me. And I freaking love it. I freaking cry. And when it's on, you can even dance to it because they have a whole, it's a musical, so it's a movie. There's a whole dance. But it's so beautiful. So I freaking love it. This is me, and from now on, but this is me more. That's The Greatest Showman. I think Bad Bunny, He's definitely up there on my favorites, like songs that give me sentimental and want me to cry. Like the song of Hawaii, it makes me want to cry because it speaks about, how they trying to get your grandma out of your neighborhood because they want to build new apartments there. Like that
Mm-hmm.
happens for real in Puerto Rico. Like all these people with money trying to remove our grandmas, our people from the streets just because they want to build complex or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that song actually makes me cry, even though it's supposed not to. I don't know why, but whatever. So lo que le pasó a Hawaii, and I'm gonna say RT. RTV has a song that it says "Get to," what is it? Get to know.
Good to know.
And
Let me
even
see.
though it's just a catchy song, his song basically speaks about you don't even know me. You don't even know me like that. You don't even know me. So the song is speaking about you. You think you might know me, but you don't. And I feel like I like that because it's true. We never actually get to know somebody truly, completely. We have to continue getting to know them. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that song from RT. But I will say those are my top three that I feel they inspire me, but definitely there will be a lot. Like I listen to everything.
Yes.
I sent y'all artist profiles for Mike, Russ, and Eladio. So
Okay, perfect.
Appreciate that. I will be getting into those. I love one thing I love is like music recommendations. So I'm definitely gonna.
mm-hmm.
I always try
Oh, it's
to.
Russ. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah. I believe that is all. We could talk music for hours and hours, but
I know.
we but we also do
Jefe
need to.
is hungry, tiene hambre. He has to eat.
Voy
He
a
needs to
comer.
eat for sure. I was like, whoa, you haven't eaten yet? I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
I haven't
So you
eaten
can
yet,
eat.
so I might pass out here.
For sure. But
Oh, we
yeah.
have somebody on the chat. Look at guys. My name is Wilson. I do music too. So de Puerto Rico, and from what I'm hearing, you guys really like music. Oh yeah, Wilson, welcome to my community. Welcome to our stream. We love music here, and hey, from Puerto Rico, wepa, let's go.
Yes. If you
I would
want
love
to,
y'all to hear if you guys have the time. Wilson, if you want,
yeah.
send me a message through DM. Let me check if my DMs are open.
You can
And
do a
then
whisper.
yeah, like a whisper.
Yeah.
And then we can check if we can add it to this our Discord.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely want very open to that. First, appreciate you for coming by on the stream. Appreciate everyone who's been watching. A couple people lurking, but you are appreciated as well.
Peace.
Yeah, all the watch streaks, all the resubs, lurks, whatever. Any way you guys support, appreciate y'all for tapping on another episode of Save Point. Hefe, appreciate you once again for taking the time to be with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where can we find you? Give us your social media and speaking points.
It's L_Hefenix on all platforms. Pretty much all platforms. I'm mostly active on Instagram. But as like I said, right? Obviously, right now it's a lot of behind the scenes. So I'm kind of, I'm not. There's no consistent schedule on the streams.
I'm here.
Um,
Don't worry about it.
you know what I mean? But yeah, pretty much on Instagram most of the time, just posting pictures, type thing, stories, or sharing just motivational content. You know what I mean? And
Nice.
but
And
uh
working with the Twitch Latin Guild, right?
yeah, working with the Twitch Latin Guild, that obviously very thankful to Twitch for the opportunity to be uh, able to work with a community of amazing creators who are all Latino, um, and come from various backgrounds, various um, like heritages, lineages, and just learning about all of those things. So he's not retired. That's a very good question. Um, I come in and out of retirement. To be quite honest with you, I joke about that all the time. Um, just for me right now, it's not about me being live, it's just about the impact of the community and the impact of the
Mm-hmm.
collective. You know what I mean? Um,
And the
but
wins in Fortnite, obviously, you're gonna find us maybe playing Fortnite.
okay, bet I'm down for a Fortnite night. Let's, we'll run it, and have some fun. But yeah, no, obviously, thank you to like the besties coming supporting, watching. Jax is one of my besties. So, well, my
Thank
bestie.
you,
So,
Jack.
Appreciate you,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
thank you for being
Well,
That's
thank you so much for being with us. I hopefully this conversation has been super inspiring, interesting. We talk about music, movies all the time, guys. So definitely follow us for more Safe Point episodes. We do one time every month, once a month, with
yes.
different guests.
Mm-hmm.
This next month we might skip the month because
Yep.
we're prepping for BC month of May, but we might come back on June with another. It's hard to content. Is that how you call it, Nighthawk? It's hard to do content.
Content creation be hard. Same idea.
There you go. Oh my
Yep.
god, my brain. Um, so we might have a new guest for June, but definitely follow Nighthawk on YouTube. I think we're basically putting all these episodes on Nighthawk's YouTube, so make sure Nighthawk that you post it on both chats.
Gotcha.
And yeah, our episodes will be here on Twitch, available. Make
Yeah.
sure to follow El Jefe and que siga el rumbón.
Zulu, you got anything coming up on your solo streams?
So I guess in my solo streams, I'm planning to try to stream one of these nights before Sunday. We're gonna continue playing some new games. I have downloaded Genshin Impact, which I've never played in my life, so we might look forward to trying that game. And yeah, MLB show because I'm playing baseball games too. I don't know. I'm everywhere. Bocopia, probably Apex because I miss it a little. Marvel Rivals maybe. So Nighthawk, make sure to update.
Oh, for sure. I'm actually in the rank now, by the way.
Oh no, you're too serious. Oh, it's okay.
I can be casual.
Casually getting killed by the Marvel rival people. I cannot even rank.
Nah, I'll be a really, really good teammate now. That's all that means. That's all that means. I'm locked in.
I'm retired from Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna come back with this. Like, I cannot move. But yeah. I mean,